How you doing, guys? Welcome back to our first update in a while on the Aussie cricket scene, and we are going to be going through their South African tour right now. So there's been three 2020 internationals there against them, and this first one-dayer out of five against the South Africans. So this is going to be a really, really strong warm-up heading into that World Cup, which is going to be very, very exciting. And the squad that's been put together is a very, very great. It's an amazing squad as well, and even the guys that have been left out, as we can see here, have done an amazing job. So I really wanted to touch on this one here, and what an incredible substitution you can have by bringing in Marnus and the reason why he was dropped is that it's just that last sort of dozen games that he's played that he hasn't been up to scratch, and sort of the way they've needed him to play, the way he's needed himself to play to sort of get into innings has not been there, unfortunately, and he hasn't been able to perform at the level that we know he can. And he had a time there where he just got into the Australian Test team. He came back and he played those 1 days there, and he was incredible, just running off the back of his Test form. And of recent time, things haven't gone his way in that arena, but he was the substitute man coming in for that sickening blow on Cam Green, and I hope he is okay. And Marnus to come in and get 80 off 93 balls there was very much needed here. As you can see, the chase wasn't too crash hot, let's just say that. You've got Dave Warner getting a duck early on. Head coming out and doing his thing, scoring very, very quick, as always. And Mitch Marsh, as we'll touch on, these two boys here, had an incredible 2020 series against South Africa there. Where Cameron Green retired hurt, obviously, that allowed Marnus to come in and get ready to play in this one and put on a man of the match performance. But low scores there from Inglis, from Carey, as well as Stoinis sort of providing a little bit there, 17 off 10. But a lot was on the line in this first ODI, and you can see he is still scoring very, very quickly. That's 10 overs remaining, but 3 wickets in hand there, and a massive innings there from Ashton Agar to get things back for this Australian side. We'll just make a comment at the moment on the World Cup squad. Again, a lot of people are annoyed with David Warner being in that squad there, and this first game again hasn't showed his class that he can provide in the one-day arena. And I hope that eventually he can get there. He does have 5 innings here, likely, in this series to show his hand there at the top of the order. And you look at that there, and you've got Cam Green in at 4, and you look at that top 4, and it's like, okay, there's a little bit of a worry at this point with sort of Green and Warner, just on their recent form, for sure. Head and Marsh, 2 of the top class batsmen in the world at the moment, especially in this, in the shorter form there. Amazing in Test cricket, but even better at the moment, especially for Marshy, even though he's scored some runs now in the Test arena. But for both of them, absolutely dominant in this form. You would say there's a little bit of a gap there in this top to middle order there with Inglis still coming into his own, and he had some really nice innings as well in the T20s, which we'll get to in a sec. But there's definitely some space there. If you look at our Alex Carey going in at 6 as well, with no Smith in this team right now, that's something that I think there's a little bit of a gap. So when he comes back in, it's going to be very, very helpful. But you do look at having someone like Marcus Stoinis come in at 7, and it becomes a really, really strong lineup. And it's always been that way, a very long, deep lineup. But we do have times where we can have issues like this, where we lose a lot of quick wickets, or guys like to score quickly, obviously, and then sometimes can get out. 17 off 15, 17 off 10, that kind of range there as well. So, yeah, a very, very important time there for Marnus to come out and do a really, really good job. Obviously, Sean Abbott can score runs. We know Ashton Agar can do a great job like he did there, 48 off 69. And he's another player that people looked at and went, oh, how the hell did he get picked? This is why. He can pull out these type of innings. He can pull out those type of bowling spells as well that can get him a bunch of quick wickets and in at a very economical rate, which is very, very good there. Something to note here for the South Africans, it's great to see Quinton de Kock in there playing in these ones. He's obviously doing much of this 2020 tour. And it's good to see a lot of the guys that we know here, Klassen, Markram, Miller, Vander Dussen, Bavuma, and also de Kock. Their top order batsmen there are all there. We know Marco Jansen has plenty of skill. We know Maharaj. Coetzee is a new fella that we haven't seen much of. Rabada and Ngidi, all guys that we've seen for a long time. So great to see that they're all together, but there are some issues in South African cricket at the moment, to do with pay and to do with politics and stuff like that. So these are games that Australia should be winning as well. So just be aware of that when you are watching these. But good to see Hazelwood come out and do really, really well. 3 for 41 up top there, and Stoinis is doing great at the top of the order as well with his bowling. Good to see he's fit and firing. We'll see in the T20s that Abbott's been taking some wickets. Agar did a good job along with Zampa. He's a very, very important bowler for us. Going forward into this World Cup is Adam Zampa. So yeah, that's a very, very solid game. It was in a lot of trouble before Marnus and Agar. If Agar didn't do his thing, I believe that Australia lose. Yeah, there's no way around that. If they can't build that partnership, they get bowled out for about 170, 180 there, very, very comfortably. So that's the one day. There are 4 to come, and I'll keep us updated with that one as well. So let's just have a look at a few of the T20s. So this one was the first one that we had that we had played there in Durban there, and 6 for 226 was the Australian batting innings there, and that was led by Mitch Marsh, who's the new 2020 captain, and it just sounds like he's absolutely having a great time. And the reason he's been in these test squads for a long time, obviously he'd been a great backup as an all-rounder, but his ability to make people laugh, his presence around the camp is such a big thing, and him now being captain, I think it brings a little bit of a relaxed atmosphere there, a very happy atmosphere. Again, no different to what other captains have been in the past. Sorry, a little bit different to what it's been in the past. Doesn't say that it's better, doesn't say that it's worse, but it's just different. And in a T20 kind of scenario, you do need to hit your targets, do what you need to do to get the win, and to do the right thing. But obviously you need to have fun doing it, because it is a fun format as it's being shown across the world in all of the 2020 leagues there. So Head, Short, again, in and out very quickly. Didn't score a lot of runs. Obviously, Head, Short did a good job, and he's deserved this spot. Matt Short, just wanted to give a shout out to him. His big bash performances, his ability to bowl as well. It wasn't needed in this, but him at the top of the order always has the ability to get away to a decent start, and that just paved the way for him and Marsh to get going. And it was a little bit of an issue through the middle. Inglis didn't have his best start to the T20 campaign. Stoinis in there as well. Tim David has been absolutely incredible for the T20s as well. Look for him to have a massive big bash this year for sure. Aaron Hardy, so another guy that's been brought into this frame, and another guy that's been doing really, really well in the big bash scene, bat and ball. So congrats to Hardy for awesome innings here. He had Abbott there as well with the 3 not out. So yeah, an incredible innings at that front. And then you look here at Tanveer Sangha have an absolute belter, 4 for 31 in this one there. Economy rates a little bit high for Spencer Johnson, another one of those, the new wild thing, as they've been calling him. Very, very fast left arm quick, for those that don't know a lot about him. 2 for 33, so good to see him get a couple of wickets there. And Stoinis up top, 3 for 18, so his ability to take wickets and also score runs has been great. And then Abbott, only needing a couple overs from him there, always seems to find a wicket. And something that the Aussies need to look at, because he's a guy that can definitely do that. And we see what happens in Big Bash each and every year. He finds ways to take wickets. So that's him in that one there. So very, very easy win. Got the South Africans out very, very early. In this one here, South Africa went 164 off their 20. The Aussies there ended up chasing that down in 14.5 overs. So very, very easily there, 2 down. And we'll see Marsh picking up plenty more runs as well in this one. And no one really seemed to get going. There's a couple of decent starts there. Obviously, the 35 from Bavuma, Markram, 49. And Stubbs there, who, again, we don't know a lot about at this point, doing some solid work, and some good wickets there from Abbott. And that's what I was saying. He's just that wicket taking bowler there. Matt Short bowled the 1 in this one. He had Ellis 2 for 25, so continues to go about his work. Zampa, first time in a little while, has copped a little bit of tap there at none for 42 off his 4. Hardy coming out solid work, but obviously went pretty, went for plenty there. And Barendorf, he should be first picked in most teams if he is fit. He's such an incredible bowler. You see here Matt Short again getting the boys away to a cracking start, and him scoring that quickly. Head didn't have to be going at that incredible rate, and kind of stuck with him for a beautiful opening partnership there. 32 before loss in that first one, so he didn't muck around obviously too much there. And then Marsh to 79 off 39. The boys did that very, very easily, with Inglis finishing that one off there. So yeah, very, very simple efforts from them in this game. And then the last one there, the Aussies, taking a little bit longer to get this total here of 190. So it just shows that the type of wickets that they're playing on, there's plenty of runs available if you're good enough. And in this one here, wickets spread around a little bit as well. Abbott did another great job there. 4 wickets for this one, 4 for 31 off his 4. Another 2 for Stoinis, again doing his job. Spencer Johnson, they were changing between Behrendorff and Johnson just to see who's going to work better for them in the 2020 scene, that's for sure. Ellis, unfortunately copped a bit of tap in this one. So we went well in the one game there. Had the 2 overs for 11 in the first. He obviously, didn't go for a lot, but didn't take the wickets. And then Tanvir, not as good in this one. So the bowling didn't step up as much, unfortunately. Spencer and Abbott had the best economy rates in that one, but it did leave plenty up to the batsmen in this one. And Travis Head, 91 off the 48. Amazing work in this one, finally short. Failed for the first time in a good while there. Marsh didn't, muck around at all, 15 off 12, and you had Inglis there, had a really, really important innings for his career, I think, in the Australian team, just to get one good one away, almost 2 runs a ball, and then Stoinis coming in and showing what he can do. David only got his real opportunity once to score well, and got 1 off 2 here late in the piece there. Obviously, they're only, 4 away when he got out there, and then Turner, another one of those guys that just shows that we have a very incredible 2020 squad at the moment. No Warner in this one. And again, that's, I think, first time he got picked again was in these one days, and why there's a little bit of an uproar on someone like him. Person they didn't pick in these ones here was obviously Ashton Agar as well. So they are selecting guys for different competitions. Obviously the T20s here, they're looking at guys like Tanvir Sangha to bowl in that. They're not picking Zampa in that, or slightly, could be, again, we don't know exactly. We're not in the selection team, but giving a few of these guys a little bit more of a rest, knowing that there's sort of 5 one-days to come and then a World Cup, giving a few of these players a rest in one format so they can be dominant in the others is something to think about as well. But in this one there, obviously, 3 really good wins for the T20s as well, and that first one-dayer. So, it's going to be very interesting to see, obviously, with that one-day squad, is what we've turned our attention to now. How that batting lineup's going to end up come the World Cup with Smithy, returning into that. Who will come out of that? How Cam Green recovers from that? Does Inglis stay in that? Does Warner stay in there? Obviously, Head and Marsh, you'd say, are locks at the moment. Same with Carey, same with Stoinis. What's going to happen with guys like Glenn Maxwell? Does Marnus earn a chance to get back, to get into this team at some point? So the great thing here is very different to that in the test team, is there's a lot of options in this one-day team heading into the World Cup. And you look at the bowling lineup that they have, and there's plenty of options there as well. And, with guys like Stoinis, if they can come in and do a good job, you've got guys like Abbott. When Pat comes in, maybe Abbott gives way. They don't have to bowl Green as much. Did they play the 2 spinners? There's a lot of different avenues they can go, which I think is going to be really, really important for the Aussies to actually go out and win the World Cup. And I'll do another update after the next few one days here against South Africa, and then we'll really be covering the World Cup, which is going to be very, very exciting. Thank you for joining us for this one, guys. There'll be a lot more cricket content to come out over the Australian summer.